Welcome to my kitchen. Good to see you in Casa con Fernando. And thanks to Casa Cuba for everything they do. Today's recipe has super simple, humble ingredients. Potato and onion. Simple enough. One other ingredient that might sound exotic is going to be salt cod, which we'll catch up to later. Salt cod is actually a very common fish back in the day and commonly fished by my ancestors. That's where my funny last name comes from, Saralegui. It's the Basque country north of Spain. Both recipes today are Spanish recipes that you can find in the tapas bar. They're super simple, easy to make, but they have several steps. So pay attention so we can get through this and do the dishes and enjoy some hors d'oeuvres together.
So this is what salt cod comes in usually. It's a hard little wooden box. It's wrapped inside. And you'll see that it is dried fish cured in salt. All that white is just sea salt. Pretty amazing. So keep in mind, do not buy fresh cod. This is a very different product. In the days before refrigeration, salt was used to preserve food, and cod was very, very common food, even so common it was even used as currency. But now all that salt needs to be rinsed off. Eventually all this cod is going to meet a food processor, so we need to cut it into manageable pieces. Put your sliced fish into a bowl and cover it with whole milk. This will help rehydrate it while it also reduces the fish smell. And cover the bowl with saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator. And on to our second ingredient, potatoes. Give them a quick rinse, and they all need to be peeled. And then we'll slice them also into manageable cubes for boiling. Get those potatoes into a pot, cover with water, and get them boiling. Okay, we got our potatoes boiling, and now we're going to get our salt cod out of the fridge, pour it through a colander, rinse it off with some water, and then we'll put it in a pot, fill it with water as well, and put it right next to those potatoes boiling. When the potatoes are ready, the cod will be ready. So check the potatoes and go from there. So this is a recipe that has a recipe within the recipe. This is a garnish for the bacalao, and it's from an Italian recipe, and it is called gremolata. Basically, it's 3 ingredients. Once again, simple. Italian parsley, minced, as you can see. And then we go from there to my favorite ingredient, garlic, and give it a good mush and a mince. Here it comes. And then from here, we'll go on to lemon zest minced. And for that, we need to peel the lemon first. And then once we have the full lemon peeled, we'll take those lemon skins and give them a mince, add that to the garlic and the parsley, and voila, and that's French, not Italian, apologize for that, and you have gremolata, and we will add it to our bacalao later, as you will see, and it just adds a nice little fresh spark to the flavors. Okay, it's time to get our bacalao and drain the boiling water. Take the fish and put it into our food processor cup. and move it on over to our work table, where we will throw in some more garlic for good measure, some olive oil, a lot of it, and back to our potatoes. Drain them in the sink, and we'll give it a quick check with a knife to make sure we were correct on the timing. And yes, we were. Almost seems like magic, doesn't it? Take our potatoes and we'll put them into a large bowl, which is where we will build our bacalao. After some mashing, we'll add in our salt, cod, garlic, olive oil combo and start to give that a mix around the bowl. From there, we'll add our gremolata, and we will also add some more olive oil until we have the paste texture that we want for the dip. Slice up some day old baguette for some crostini, and we're gonna give this a taste.
About ready. Let's give this a little taste. You want a crouton or a cracker? And good. Oh, it's not great. This with a glass of red wine, you'd be in good shape. Let's go make Tortilla Española. I'm talking with my mouth full. I apologize. That's good.
Okay, back to potatoes. Let's go to the same drill, clean them, peel them, bring them to the table, but this time instead of cubes, we're going to slice them into half circles, half moons. Nothing more than a 1/4 inch thick. And that's because they're going to be fried instead of boiled. And next, basically the same for the onions. Peel them and get ready to cut them into half moons. They will work perfectly within the frittata, tortilla, or omelet, however you want to describe it. Now mash some garlic and add it to the oil, and that'll flavor all of our frying ingredients, both the onions and the potatoes. Now we'll start frying the potatoes in batches. For a 1 pound, I would do 3 small batches. Keep an eye on them as they fry up, and basically you want them to be ever so slightly golden and softened. And then it's time to remove them and bring in the next batch. Next, we'll do the same with the onions. 2 batches will do, and we'll wait till they are limp, and then they're ready to pull out. Time to build our tortilla. Get your largest bowl. It's much easier to work with a large bowl, and we have to break 8 eggs to get going. We'll give it a quick whisk and go from there. I did say quick whisk, didn't I? Now we'll add the pimentos and the smoked paprika, and you'll see that we'll go back and forth between using the ladle and using a whisk. Some of these finer ingredients need to be whisked into the egg. And now we'll fold in the onions and potatoes, a little salt as usual, and a little pepper behind it. We'll give it a good stir, and it's ready to hit a hot pan. So let's talk about that hot pan. In my case, I'm using an iron skillet, which is great as long as it's also greased well. And I'll check it with a little egg yolk to make sure it's hot enough. Now, cast iron is great for evenly transferring the heat. But if you have a non-stick pan, you'll see it'll help at the end of the game when we turn out the tortilla onto a plate. Over medium heat, the tortilla should start to firm up in about 3 to 5 minutes. You can just check it with a spatula like I'm doing here. And then from here we'll go to the oven. The oven's ready at 350, and now we're putting in our skillet. And did I mention that iron pans are also heavy as heck? So progress can be checked by giving it a little bit of a shake and see what kind of moisture you have there. And as soon as it's firm around the edge, we're good to go. And now comes the tricky part. Without the nonstick and a heavy iron pan, that flip is not easy. Now I know this looks ugly, but you wait and see. We're going to figure this out. We're going to take another plate, put it on top, and flip that over again, right back to our beautiful side. And voila! Beautiful Tortilla Española.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've already done the dishes, so it's time for me to take advantage of the fruit of our labor. This is the way it's done in tapas bars across Spain. Until next time, disfruta la comida, la vida, la familia. Un abrazo fuerte. Cuídense.